You ever deal with that one neighbor who thinks she owns the whole damn neighborhood? Yeah, that was my HOA Karen, stealing everyone's packages like it was her part-time job. But when she tried to take mine, oh, I hit her with a plan she'll never forget. Watch till the end, and hey, smash that subscribe button so you never miss the chaos. There's something you need to understand about my neighborhood. On the surface, it looks perfect. Neat lawns, fancy mailboxes, identical houses, and rules so strict you'd think we were living inside a museum. But inside that perfect little bubble was the one person who made everyone miserable. Our HOA president, Karen. Karen wasn't just a rule enforcer. She was a storm in human form, a walking complaint, a professional finger pointer with a permanent scowl and a clipboard glued to her hand. For months, packages in our community had been disappearing. Not just mine, everyone's. Some thought it was teenagers, others blamed delivery drivers, and a few convinced themselves it was porch pirates passing through. I never suspected the truth, until the day I caught her. It started when a delivery that I desperately needed, a set of camera lenses for my job, vanished from my porch within minutes of being delivered. I checked my doorbell cam. Nothing. The clip froze before the moment it mattered. It was like someone had jammed the signal. That was strange. So, I set up a second hidden camera behind the hallway window. Positioned just right. Invisible from the outside. 2 days later, another package arrived. 15 minutes passed. Then 5 more. And then, there she was. Karen walked across my lawn like she owned it. She didn't hesitate. She didn't even look around. She approached my porch, grabbed the package in one smooth sweep, tucked it under her arm and walked away calmly, as if she were carrying groceries to her own house. No guilt, no hesitation, no shame. I watched the footage in disbelief. The HOA president, the woman responsible for community integrity, was the porch pirate we'd all been hunting. I kept watching the clip, over and over, not because I enjoyed it, but because something felt off. She didn't look rushed. She didn't sneak. She didn't run. No, she was comfortable, like she'd done this 100 times. And suddenly all those missing packages made sense. But a bigger problem stood in front of me. If I confronted her, she'd weaponize the HOA rules against me. She controlled the board. She controlled the fines. She controlled the complaints. And she wasn't above using them. So I needed a plan, not just to catch her, but to expose her in a way she couldn't slither out of. That's when the idea hit me. Dye traps. You know, the same blue dye that banks use during robberies? Well, they make household versions too, built for prank traps and thief deterrence. Harmless, but impossible to hide. If Karen was going to take something, I was going to give her something unforgettable. I ordered 3 packages, all identical, all designed to explode the moment they were opened or squeezed too tightly. Then I set them on my porch, perfectly visible, perfectly tempting. And then, I waited. For 3 hours, nothing happened. The sun dropped lower. Dogs barked in the distance. A sprinkler clicked on and off. Then, the familiar clip-clop footsteps. Purposeful, confident. I recognized them instantly. Karen arrived. She paused, looked around, tilted her head as if making sure no one was watching. Then she did it again. She grabbed the package with zero hesitation. No guilt, no fear. She tucked it under her arm and walked away. Exactly what I wanted. What she didn't know was that the moment her fingers squeezed the box, dye erupted from the inside, coating her hands, her shirt, her face, everything, in fluorescent blue. But that part, I'd see later. For now, I stood silently, watching her disappear behind her house. And for the first time in months, I felt something strange. Not anger, not frustration, something else. Satisfaction. Because this time, she wouldn't get away with it. The next morning, the neighborhood was buzzing. People whispered. Garage doors opened and closed unusually slow. Dogs stopped mid-walk as their owners stared across the street in confusion. Because there she was, Karen, covered head to toe in blue dye. She tried washing it off, but dye traps are stubborn. It stained her hands, her fingernails, her neck, even the roots of her hair. Every time she scrubbed, it only made it worse. Blotchy patches of bright blue that spread like watercolor. Word traveled fast. Someone told someone else. Then another. By noon, the entire HOA board had seen her. Karen tried to spin a story about vandalism. Tried to claim she was targeted. Tried to threaten to call the police. But that's when I presented the footage. Not just mine, but footage from 3 other neighbors who had cameras pointing toward their lawns. And apparently, I wasn't the only one she'd robbed. One by one, people stepped forward. Old footage. New footage. Clips of her casually walking up to porches, taking boxes, and walking away with the same cold confidence she'd used on mine. The HOA board sat stunned. Silent. Shocked. Karen tried everything. She screamed. She cried. She claimed it wasn't her. She claimed it was digitally altered. She claimed we were all conspiring against her because we didn't respect rules. But every excuse dug her hole deeper. The die trap was the final nail in the coffin. Evidence she couldn't deny. Stains she couldn't hide. Proof she couldn't twist. By the end of the meeting, the decision was unanimous. Removed as HOA president. Fined for theft. Ordered to return or repay every package she stole. Reported to the police for multiple porch thefts. As she walked out of the room, hands still stained blue, head drooping like a wilted flower, the entire neighborhood watched. Not with joy, not with cruelty, but with relief, because the storm was finally over. But the best part? A week later, I checked my cameras again, just out of habit. No stolen packages, no disappearing deliveries, no unwanted visits, just peace. Took one die trap to expose a year of lies, and I didn't feel bad about it. Not for 1 second, because sometimes the only way to stop a monster is to show the world exactly what it looks like.